we recently were at an event, and I think this is Christmas parade uh, in Eldon, and we took some family pictures, and this is one that was just really cool. And I thought we would turn this into a puzzle. So I went up here and I went to my file print, and I did a setup as far as to my 8600, and I had it go ahead and scale it to custom fit the size of the sheet of paper. And then I went and clicked on it for printing the best print, and I'm printing this out on a piece of cardstock. And so the whole picture is basically a print out on cardstock, which has got a shiny gloss to it. And then I took that picture and I imported it into Spire. And then on the Spire on my levels, I've got a picture for the puzzles as well. And I just have this as a gray, a grayscale just for. I thought about maybe cutting it into a laser. Anyway, down here on your tool pass, you can kind of see what we are for our tool pass. This is where it would carve this out on a piece of paper, and then this one here is one that just does that. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the picture so you can just see the tool pass. Anyway, this is just overlaid on top of that. I did set my material thickness. Let me go ahead and peg that there. Set my Z to 0.001 so the laser doesn't come up and down. Material thickness is 1/4, and then I put my datum down in the lower left corner, and that way I can take my piece of paper and glue it to that board, and that way it stays on there. I also changed my settings for the cutout pieces, and I moved my move speed down from 8 to 7 because of the 1/4 inch. I had just a couple that weren't quite cut out perfect. I had to go over it twice, and then that increased the side of it. So I'm making my speed down to 7 on my in just one pass, and of course it's cutting on. So those are the changes that I made. Save that to my thumb drive, and I'm getting ready to go out to the shop and do some spraying with some material. All right, we're going to take this and glue this on a piece of plywood. This is my first attempt. This was lasered twice, and it made my gaps a lot bigger. The first time it was just absolutely perfect. But I had this row down here that it didn't quite get through it. So I tried lasering again. Of course, it made my gaps big. And then I didn't get my datum down here in the corner, and I thought I was working on the center. Anyway, long story short is I changed my datum back here in the corner. So I'm going to glue this on the piece of that on the plywood and get it down to that point there. So let me get that done, and I'm going to get that cut and ready to go. Alright, I've marked a couple of 11 by 8.5 pieces of plywood. One's a piece of that 400 laminate. This is a piece just of 1/4 inch mahogany Luan. So we're going to cut them down, get them squared up. Alright, I don't know if my stuff's getting old or what it is. It's cold out. It's probably 40 degrees in here. Maybe a little warmer since I turned the heater up. Anyway, this is a 3M high strength. It's several years old. And the Loctite spray adhesive. They were both great spraying adhesives. I think they're just probably getting a bit old. Anyway, I had to clean the tip a couple times, so I got the tips cleaned in acetone, and I got a pretty good coating on both of them. I coated the plywood, and then I coated the paper with the 3M adhesive. This was coated with what do you call it, the Loctite. And so anyway, and it's funny, the nozzles don't interchange, but they're both contact spray adhesives, and as long as it does a good job and I can roll it out on there, that's good enough. So let me get my rolling pin and get it done. Now if you just want it where you can peel it off, just put one layer on it. So I want this to stay, so I'm spraying the paper and this. I'm getting them to where they're just kind of tacky. I mean, basically when you put your finger on it, it's supposed to be to where no glue sticks to it. So, and then that'll fit on there nice and straight. So let me get my rolling pin out. Now, if I had my preference, I like how the Loctite spray adhesive went on. I actually did a research when I was putting a camper liner in a RV 7, 8 years ago. And that one actually came out best on the ratings as far as staying put, and so I chose it, and that's what I was using that for. So it did a nice coverage on that. And then this guy right here, this is like a headliner, and it needs to have a little more grip on it, but as soon as we roll it out, it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and put that on top of the other one. Okay, when I stuck that down in there, I took this other piece of 1/4 inch plywood and I just laid over it, and then I rolled it over the top of that 2 or 3 times, and got a pretty good feel on it. It's nice and flat. That's a good feel, and I think it's going to stay there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spray over that with some of this Rust-Oleum clear gloss enamel. Give that a shot. I'm going to put 2 light coats on it, and that will keep any ash from staying on it. I was really amazed how the laser did not ash up, did not give it anything. And I'm also going to put a coat on the back side of it as well. That way I'm thinking it'll help keep the stuff from, it'll wipe off. So let me do that. Alright, I just did a nice start, stop, nice start, just put on a nice wet coat on there, and then I did a crisscross from this direction, nice wet coat, and that's all I did. It was just a light coat, but it was a wet coat. And of course I did that on the back side first, and then I flipped it over, and this has got those coats on it. So I'm thinking in about a little while it's going to be good to laser, and I'm going to let that dry. And last time I let it dry overnight, so I don't know. It worked good last time I did it, so we'll see what we can do as far as getting that to dry. Alright, notice I re-lasered that thing again. It cut off all them little slivers and opened up my joints, so that's why I had to redo that. But anyway, that's all been out for an hour and a half or so. I'm going to vacuum that up, clean it up, but you got to watch out because there are sometimes little embers that are blowing there for a little while. So when you're checking it out, make sure it's all out. All right, she's in there. Got to put my datum over here in the left-hand corner, and it's good. I've got magnets just in the holding the waffle, matrix in, so the picture just kind of stays in there. And of course, it's locked in with this 1/4 inch plywood. It's pretty well locked in where it won't move. And so there we go. So I'm ready to lock in that corner and set our 0, and away we'll go. All right, I'm zeroed in, ready to go. I'm gonna let that cook for just a little bit. All right, I'm giving it a couple hours to dry. We'll turn on the air assist on the laser. Load up the file. Go down to Jigsaw Summers and laser cut pieces. And it's using the bottom left corner. And we'll put on the lasers and view this here when it starts out. Alright, just come out for a real quick check. Looks like it's cutting along just fine. See right there in the front that puzzle's cut out on this side, so that's good. That means it's dropping there in the front, so that's good. Well, that thing's cutting out, or cutting that laser. If that wasn't bitten outside, this whole garage would be full of smoke. And so it's nice. What that's doing is that's pulling air through this front of this CNC right here. If you put your finger there, you can feel a little breeze coming in through there. It's blowing all the way back to that little hole in the very back. Just taking it out here through this hose, and then the smoke's going down. But, since there's no debris, it's just smoke. It's swirling around a little bit and then going up into that dust deputy, and then it's bending straight outside the door there. So going along just fine there. I haven't had any issues with any fire or smoke going down in there because basically all I'm doing is collecting, fine dust. And never have seen any embers heading towards that pipe over there. I have seen embers in the waffle board and down in there, but they're never being carried back through that. Guess I'm not really vacuuming any of that dust up. So that's one good thing about this system. And then, of course, my air is coming in through my crack at the bottom of the door. Got a 2x6 or 2x6, I think, that's laid down there, that's treated, that's taking up some of the slack. I have a natural settling in my floor there, so I put that in there, but it gives me a little bit of a crack for about that much fresh air to come in, so that actually works fine. And anyway, so this little laser's going along that front edge cutting, and we're at 52%. See how she's doing? She's going around cutting that outside edge out and going around, so it's looking good. This one looks like it's cutting out just fine. If I ever had one that wasn't cooking, I think I would just put it on a little bit bigger board and then run sanding that machine over there. Not my thickness planer, but my sanding, and take just a hair off of it. Running a double laser on it, it didn't work. On my other one, it was just the curves was too big. So anyway, going around it, doing it fine. It says we're at 52%. And right around 10 minutes. So we'll just have to see what we got going on that. And going around there and just cutting away with it. And that's cutting right there at the edge of that. Of course, I've got my laser glasses on. So again, it's cutting around the other side of it. And I think my material is just a little bit, inside this border. So that's just kind of one of the deals that it's going to do. Okay, get back to you. Sometimes my brain don't fire right. I'm sitting there looking at this thing going, why did that cut out here about an inch from the right-hand side of that picture? And then I'm thinking my material size was 12 inches by 8.5. Oh, okay, well the picture is 11 by 8.5, so that explains that. Anyway, my material size needs to go down a little bit. Of course, I'm printing a piece of cardstock printer out separately from my model, and it would probably be easier if I could print the model piece of paper right from the model, but don't know that I can. I just have never tried it. I'll just use a printer deal, but if your size of your material is not the same as what you're trying to do, there you go. That's what happens to you. So anyway, that explains that. All right, we're at 98% done. It's 21 minutes. 99% done. It's over there cutting all the way out to the edge here where I told it was there. All right, back to the datum. And it's done at 21 minutes and 29 seconds. All right, let's get it out there. All right, there she did. She came out pretty good. I've got a little bit of discoloration on some of this. That might be because I didn't let this enamel cure overnight. I rushed it after a couple hours. And I'm thinking that might have been the reason for it. But anyway, once I get my border set for my 8.5 to 11 piece of paper, I'll be set to go. I did wipe these off, but I do have a little bit of that's hair down in there too, but some of these places just a little bit of charring, like on the face right here, just a little bit in there. So anyway, but it did come out really good. I'm really impressed with it. So there you go. Spray it with enamel and let it cure.